Thank you, Stuart. I've got the pleasure today to really introduce Corazon and the reset of Corazon. I've only been with the company for about 6 weeks now, coming as MD just the beginning of August, and on the back of that also brought in the Two Pools project we're about to go through here. So we're really moving our focus from Lynn Lake over in Canada, as Stuart touched on there, which was nickel copper, now into WA gold, and really putting a path forward to be a developer within WA. So we brought into Two Pools. It's in a Tier 1 district. It's about 60 k's north of Catalyst Plutonic operating mill. It's really underexplored. There's a lot of upside there in exploration. We'll be drilling there in not too distant future. The entry point of the currently, so our market cap sitting at about $3 million as we sit today, really moving into WA gold. So it's a great point to come in now. We are doing a restructure of the capital restructure, coming up with a consolidation to get us a reset there. And again, a new management team, a new board. So myself coming on board. I've got an operational background, which we'll touch on in a second. And we've got 3 actual mining engineers on the board, which is completely different to a lot of other small mining companies within WA. Just touching on that, so corporate snapshot, as you can see, there's a pre and post consolidation going on, as well as pre and post vend of the new asset. We have just recently also raised $2 million, which are coming in. We have the EGM on the 6th of October for all that to be approved by shareholders. Very positive in terms of where that's going to end up. As I said, myself, mining engineer, very much strong operations background. Most recently worked for Pilbara Minerals, was the general manager of operations there from 2019 to 2023, so I understand what growth looks like, what operations look like. I've worked in gold, in manganese, in iron ore, and in lithium, so I've got a good strength across the different commodities. I've also got Christy and Scotty. They're both engineers as well, but obviously they've taken different paths to myself. Scott went down more the corporate path, now into MD Blackstone Minerals, which is a very successful company. And then Christy went down into auditing in other areas and is a very successful non-exec director. So again, I say it's a different board structure to normal. We haven't got any geologists on there, as you can see, so we're going to be extremely a different approach in terms of where we're going to take this company moving forward. Not having a go at any geos in the room either, apologies. So Two Pools. Two Pools is 60 k's north of the operating Catalyst mine. Very close to Trident as well, which has recently been announced as a resource upgrade of 811,000 ounces there. It's in a very underexplored area of the Bryah Basin. There's multiple operating mills within 150 k's, which gives us good toll treating options in the future. And again, it's very underexplored. I can't touch on that enough. This ground has been dormant since 2018, prior to when AIC did some drilling there. They then obviously moved their focus to the East Coast and copper as a copper producer, so the gold product sat there. We were lucky enough to pick that up recently, and you'll see soon that there's been some really good work done on the ground, which really gives us a good base to move forward. A greenstone belt that has been underexplored. This area has previously been mapped as granite. Of course, the greenstone is undercover. As you can see here, again, I said, touch you, I'm not a geologist, I'm not going to give any fancy words, but the colours here and what really stands out shows us that that isn't actually granite in that region. And it is a mafic, ultramafic with greenstone in there. We've really stretched these magnetics out to show that and understand where the potential is in this region. We're currently doing some geophysics here, which is going to give us some further target identification. So by doing that, we also then went and looked at any historical drilling with these tenements. And out to the east, which is to the right of your screen, there has been drilling that has occurred, RAB drilling, but only down to 40 metres, which then was where the granite overthrust was there. Nothing below that has really occurred, which then gives us more hope than understanding there's mineralisation below that 40 metres of depth. More recently, as I touched on there, we've been doing some geophysics work, just desktop work to see what's going on in this region. And we did understand that there was a tenement to the west, or some area to the west there that hadn't been pegged. We put the application in there straight away to take that and pick that area up, which is the black box you can see there. Because what we're really understanding is that Two Pools is probably plunging to that northwest along about a 300 degree, because they are they are quartz stacked veins through there. So we picked it up really recently, which gives us another 100 square k's there to go and explore in the not too distant future. So again, that was advantageous. Now this ground has had a lot of work done on it. I'll just work through that really quickly here. So some rock chips and soils have occurred recently. You see rock chips there, 34, 32. There's companies screaming on that at the moment, 20, 30 mil market cap on rock chips like that. We're still sitting at 3 mil. We've got drilling as well. You'll see that the soils there, where the pinky purple colours are really high level soils, which is fantastic. And that's obviously where some of the drilling has occurred as well, but not all to the southeast has occurred. So we've got to push that drilling down to the southeast to understand what's going on there. Another important point, the top right, 1.8 grams in soils. No drilling has occurred in that area up there. So again, another area we need to go follow up. So there's 3 different areas on this 2 pools package, which we've got to go and see what's happening. But there's already been some work occurring, which is great. Now the drilling. This is historical drilling that's occurred within this region and never got followed up. And this is just 2 pools. So 2 pools is about 10 square kilometres of our total 300 square kilometre package. Everything else is pretty much underexplored. Some of these intersections here, as I call them, left screamers. You got 12 metres pretty much at 9 grams, 18 metres at 4 grams, rounding up here pretty generously. And you can see that there's quite a lot of other hits within that area. This presentation's come out today, so please have a look at it and you'll really see the detail in terms of where these drill hits are. But what this does is gives us a great understanding of what's going on in this region. The one hole on this here that if you take away is one at the top. I'm going to come over here and point to it. This hole up here, MRC 691. Everyone's like, that hole there is the one that gets me excited the most. It's at 236 metres deep. We've hit 5 metres at 3.5 grams. And then the upside again to that is, it's actually been drilled in the wrong direction. So we're looking at these granites, so the quartz running on a sort of 300-degree northwest trajectory, and that's actually been drilled directly south, so it hasn't been drilled across the quartz, and it's still hit good mineralisation. When we go back in, we'll drill that in the right direction, and we should then see upside again. But what it shows is that this mineralisation is plunging to depth to that northwest. What does that mean? Why is that so important? This next slide here. Trident. Trident is part of Catalyst's portfolio. It's one of their most recent resource upgrades they've done. They'll be in their mining at the moment. They've got an open pit as well as an underground there. It is over 800,000 ounces. The mineralisation and the structure of Trident is extremely similar to what we're seeing here at 2 pools. I'm not going to stand here and say we've got another 800,000 at 2 pools. I hope we do, and I hope in 12 months' time I'm telling you that. But what I do see is we have got a very much similar style to Trident, and there's definitely upside there in terms of hundreds of thousands of ounces in the future. And again, there's only one area of this whole tenement package. The 10 square k's or 300 square k's of underexplored area. What have we got going on? So we're still waiting for these tenements to be granted. They're right at the back end of that process. We should see that happening in the not too distant future. We'll then move into heritage. As soon as heritage is done, we'll actually go in there with a diamond drill rig. The reason behind that is so we can understand the structure. There's been a multitude of RC holes put in different directions, so we'll go in there with a few diamond holes and then get the structure understanding of what's going on there. From there, we'll have a follow-up RC program from that point onwards. I foresee us, hopefully having a drill rig in the ground this side of Christmas, which will be the diamond rig, and then we'll have an RC rig in the new year. Obviously, that's pending heritage and a few other areas there. But there is a lot of news flow coming in from Coruscant in this region, definitely. And the upside, as I keep saying, is it the next Trident? Who knows? So we did touch on a few of our other projects. They are now in the back of the portfolio. We have got Lynn Lake in Canada, nickel copper, McBride as well, which is a VMS asset over there, and then also Mount Gambier on the east coast. Those 3 assets will be sitting in the back of the portfolio. We'll do a little bit of work on them, but nothing major for now. And we will look at a divestment potentially in the not too distant future. So why Coruscant? We're in a Tier 1 jurisdiction, extremely underexplored, just north of Catalyst, of Mika, and of Westgold. We've expanded that first package to 300 square k's now of potential strike in terms of what we're doing there. Current valuation is so low. Once we start getting the drill rig in the ground, this valuation is going to go through the roof. So now's a good time to get into this base point. And as I touched on, we've got a different board, a different structure, a different mindset in terms of what do we do with a small exploration company. We are going to turn this from an exploration company into a producer. I'm a miner. We're all mining engineers. That's what we want to do. So I look forward to Corazon in the future, and thank you for the first time of presenting it today. Thanks, everyone.